uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom!
G'day Grubs, today's video is all about helping you win more gunfights, particularly by taking a little bit of time in the middle of it all and putting some simple game plan into your gunfighting. And there's a lot of ways of doing this. A lot of the reasons that I win games are centered around outthinking opponents. I don't think it's any secret. I'm a 51-year-old bloke. I'm balding. I'm a tubby bugger. I'm a massive human. And I have to win gunfights by basically playing smarter than the bad guys. And the reason I'm winning this gunfight, you saw in the first section of the gameplay. I'm going to start it again and show you. Now, as a rule, I think there is far too much thirsting goes on in PUBG Mobile when there is no reason for it. But this, I'm going to thirst the target and then I'm going to run, okay? And I'm going to run to an area that is completely safe for me if they are enraged and charging. And they are. I set up on a stairwell and lo and behold, a whole squad starts rolling into me, desperately pushing, and all the targets become isolated. Now, you can thirst to your heart's content when that's the situation. When you don't want to be thirsting is when you find targets that are in the middle of a gunfight and you're getting pushed by multiple people, and rather than just winning the gunfight, you thirst, okay? That's when you have to have a reload and you die. This is exactly the same thing, and I want to just take a moment and pause to talk about how stupid this is. Watch this again. This is an Asia server special. They do this all the time. People watch clips of YouTubers and they've got like $10,000 worth of gear on and they've got all the fancy cars and they drive one at a time. Multiple cars, multiple angles, moving around. Only what they do is they take angles on people so it's very, very safe. It's not exciting, but it's safe and it's good gameplay. What these guys are doing is driving around in separate cars and then pushing one off and getting killed for it. Now, this is hilarious because I should have killed him, but he then should have killed me. And so what happens is, again, they just get furious and they are all just going to charge. And it all happens because I've already knocked and thirsted one of their mates. And did you see I didn't go for the thirst on that bloke? I waited. Again, you have to outthink the opponent when you are up against a skill deficit. Let's be honest. Not as good as a lot of these players. I have to outthink them. I've got a knock. I've got a thirst. School is too big. I don't have a DBS. And they're going to get angles and they're going to push around. So what I do instead is take the car and I make a big fade. I'm going to hit hard right through the back end of apartments, go up to the platform just above apartments, the ledge, and just see what happens and see what they do. See if they go looking for me out on the roof, as they are obviously going to do. And then I'm going to get another knock. I don't get the thirst, but I move again. This is so annoying. We've all had people do this to us. You're like, this guy is just a complete pest. We can't get a hold of him and he's driving me crazy. You can see Konetki or whatever his name is later on. These guys, I moved to an area where they're going to rotate. They're going to rotate towards the circle. This is the edge of the circle coming towards me. This is the same guys. And I'm pretty sure they know it's me. They were looking for me. You got to stay calm here. It would be really, really easy to jump off and start getting involved. It would be really, really easy to lose your nerve and start moving around. Sometimes you just have to stay calm and you have to wait for the bad guys to make an error. And they will. The reason I'm knocking and thirsting here is if I don't come down, I cannot get those guys. Now, I've got a really tough choice here. Do I hit a heal, a reload, or do I wait for this guy to get up? So we just got over the other side, took our reload, and waited. I'm going to show you an example now of exactly what I'm talking about with the thirsting issue. Thirsting is absolutely right. You've got to kill the enemy when there is no danger that you're going to lose the gunfight because you thirst. This is a hot drop. I have a Mark 12 and a level 2 helmet. McDingling's gone over there with a shotgun. He's going to face two dudes. There's another guy behind us. Bang. He has to reload. That thirst cost him the game. It cost him the game. And his mate has a knife that he's trying to stab me with because he's just got the shits. I don't know. I think he pulled out the wrong gun. But that thirst cost them the game. If he hadn't have thirsted McDingling, then I'm pushing him with no vest and a Mark 12 and he's got like an AK. It's just wild. Just being technically proficient is also really, really important. And I don't mean you've got to be able to have the most incredible movement. You've got to have decent, solid movement. But you've got to be able to like climb, jump, effectively shoot, like using the right weapon. A UMP is a wonderful CQC weapon for these gunfights. There's a guy on the roof. He's the guy who got the knock. Knowing that you've got to come out to this side to get the climb on that, doing it smoothly and in one piece. Right? All that is a necessary part of being better at PUBG Mobile than the bad guys. This is another great example of outthinking. This is a three-party gunfight. There's a bloke at the top. There's a squad pushing him. We pushed into the back of that squad and kind of forced them all into this gunfight. And then we're going to chuck one under that sill on top to try and get a hold of that bloke. Rather than running through the stairs, I don't know who's downstairs and how many are left at this point in time. I'm going to go outside the squad house and jump up and through and around. And you can see here, he's holding the angle. He's got absolutely no idea. And we get the clears. He already thirsted my knock downstairs, so stuff him. He deserves it. This is very, very sweaty. There is a bit of a backstory to this one. The guy over there in the car is an Aussie conqueror. And I was pretty sure he was the best in the lobby. It was a quiet lobby. The first 40 or 50 people died and I couldn't get any kills. I looked at the flight path. They were coming in from the north side of the map. That's it. King Cam and his mate Kathy or something. And so I basically just set up here in the middle and waited. And no other cars happened. These guys were rolling around killing everyone. And I was just like, that's grand. I'm just going to wait for these two, figure it out, and get the win. That's exactly what we did. 2 eliminations. I don't recommend this if you want to have fun. But I had the shits and was determined to actually get a win. And that meant that I was going to have to play hard. There was no way that I was going to take these guys in a drive around fight. What do I mean by that? Because that's pretty important. The worst way to die when you're playing solo squads is driving around in a car and just cruising. Like making constant cruising rotations. There you go. King Cam and Kathy. They were the conquerors and flight leads on the plane. And I was like, happy days, get rid of them, win the game. We did. Ended up getting 5 kills. They were the last 5 in the game, which was pretty handy. It's really important that when you're playing, there is a game plan. There is some kind of idea and thought process behind what you're doing. And even in the heat of the moment, you can do that. You can hear, this is me imitating a bot. Like, this guy's not sure. He's being a little bit wary. You can see. Knock and thirst, because again, he's isolated. Like if you push solos, you're going to get knocked and thirsted. Can we climb up? UMP. Hip fire only. Thanks very much. When you knock and thirst someone, it is great when it's like this. Like, I'm not thirsting often in gunfights like this. I won't thirst. I might touch someone a couple of times just to try to hasten the opponent to make a decision that they have to. Like, you can see no one's thirsted here. No one's thirsted yet. And then they thirst Devil Dog. That's like, seriously? Like, once you do that, all bets are off. You know as well as I do that once you thirst someone in a gunfight, everyone's getting thirsted. That's all there is to it. Everyone's dying. And I will quite often die when I'm playing with Baz and Stephen Dingers, just as long as I can thirst all but one of the group. So they're forced to then make a decision. Do they roll through together, or do they get rid of the game, and do they like all watch the last guy go through, or do they, it breaks up the squad? And that might sound a little bit petty, but it's just part of the game. Really, you've always got to be aware about where people are. There is this gunfight here, and then I see straight across the flank. Yep. I pull back nicely, get my shots. Always be thinking outside to the next section of gameplay. And hard cover, outthink them, do your best. I'm going to be doing more of these gunfighting series on little bits that tie together like that, where you can see when you kind of instill the rage in the enemy and force them to push into you because you've knocked and thirsted their buddy, or you don't knock and thirst someone because it's going to force you to reload. I like the way those there's an organic feel to those clips. I've got a lot of these, so I'm going to be running through them as we roll through, and I hope you enjoy them. Anyway, let's call it, I don't know, the Gunfighter's Bible, or how to win more games. The AI will tell me, trust me. When I upload it, I've got a little thing, it will tell me what to call it. That's why we had a video the other day that was called How I Crush High KD Players. It literally made that title. I'm like, stuff it, we'll run with it. Look after yourselves, stay safe on the battlefield, and until next time, bye for now.